So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get things underway. Starting out as the red team, they have been a dominant force in the OGN. They are the OGN champions. It's Azubu Frost. And there is Azubu Frost, shy, really one of the players of the tournament so far, Jack.
Says he's only been playing League of Legends for 6 months. The amount of just skill he's picked up. There we see Cloud Templar. He is the just caller of that team. He's the only one who's actually been through his 2 years mandatory military service, and it really shows in the way they listen to his commands. He is the tactical brain of them. Just going through, they're actually looking very confident. Zuba's looking pretty good right here. They're happy.
Yeah, and then Rapid Star versus Frog, and that's one of the big lanes we've talked about before. He was so delighted during the OGN finals. Gunwung there, honestly one of the best AD carries we've seen this tournament.
And he actually used to play top lane for this team. He's the captain. He goes where they need him. He's been a very strong Ezreal. He's had a couple games, 7 kills, 0 deaths, 5 assists on Ezreal.
Waving the camera.
Doesn't want the sunlight to be on him right there. He's just moving around. And here we have, I think that's Mad Life.
And he's one of the stars in Korea.
Star support.
He is absolutely a superstar, a megastar. He gets more cheers, I think, in Korea than any other player on that team because they love him.
He has to be the most popular support in the world. Brought out support Zyre, brought out support Lux. He's just an innovator. Right on the other side, though, starting as the blue team, they just took down Team WE earlier today in one game. It's Counter Logic Gaming, Europe.
And, of course, these guys are no...
Wicked cannot keep on the Snoopy stare.
He couldn't do the Snoopy stare. He tried his best. They are not unknown to you guys. Certainly the American crowd and the European crowd. And to be fair, the Korean crowd as well. Everybody knows them because they've seen them for 3 months in Korea.
They were stars in that league, and they saw them in the finals to that 10,000 fans at the War Memorial. And the top lane for him against Shy is going to be so huge. I have a feeling they're going to leave them isolated. 1v1. Here we have Snoopy. That's a different stare in this way. He's just trying to peer into our souls. Getting a little bit trolled by Froggen in the back, but his early game is so key. We've always said the key to the game, let Snoopy control the pace, because that's always what he needs to do for them. Froggen in the mid lane, that matchup against Rapid Star is going to be so key. They've actually played Anivia against Froggen in the past. He can't do the stare. There's no chance.
He tried. Instead, he just waves. Waves to his fans. And Yellow Pete, we're seeing emotions from Yellow Pete here. He's smiling. He was all super serious business on Saturday. He's definitely come out of his shell a little bit throughout this tournament.
And his Kog'Maw play in the last game against WE was great. He's been struggling a little bit this tournament. There's Crepo spinning around in his chair. They're having a good time. They're keeping it really light in this setup. I think they're going to go for Kog'Maw if I had to make a pick here, because that's what they've had success with. They haven't had success with the big 380 carries, and that's been their fallback. They combo Karthus with Kog'Maw in a lot of these scenarios, and that could be something like what we see.
Yeah, so we'll see how those picks go. They had so long to think about the picks and bans against Team WE. They've just had to sit down, put their heads together, and figure out a plan against Azubu Frost in the last 2 hours. We had a chance to sit down earlier on with the teams. Of course, this was pre-Saturday. Here is what they had to say about their upcoming opponents.
CLG랑 예전에 경기했었을 때도 되게 힘들었어요. 그래서
You just need to scout their top champions. You need to see who their target players are and try to shut them down. Pretty much offense instead of defense. Like, you want them to think of something against you, not you think of something against them. We're all known for being one of the best teams in terms of teamwork and attitude and things like that. I don't care if he's support, I don't care if I'm jungle, I don't care if he's AP carry. Everyone's equal in the team. You're all trying to achieve one goal. You're all trying to win together.
저번보다도 훨씬 많은 팀워크 그런 것도 다 업그레이드 됐고, 그 CLG 이유가 요새 되게 좀 많이 힘들어하는 것 같아서 이번엔 저희가 쉽게 이겨주려고.
Wow, Gunwung saying so winning will be pretty easy. They're not doing well as a team lately. That is confidence.
And even Cloud Templar, talked with him briefly. I said, who would you rather have faced, CLG EU or World Elite? He actually said CLG EU. They wanted the rematch. They wanted to beat them again, and they think they can take it.
So we are straight into the picks and bans. Let's get things underway, ladies and gentlemen. This is the game that we all wanted to see. It is Azubu Frost versus CLG EU, and immediately Jackson Blitzcrank being banned out by CLG EU, aiming at Shy. Don't want that nasty hook that's been going on. It's what Madlife was using earlier on, and Cogmore and Aurelia being banned out by Azubu Frost. Interesting they went for Cogmore. You know, we've seen Yellow Pete playing it quite a few times.
They're really target banning again back and forth. We saw Scar earlier said he's doubtful that Orion is going to get played in the rest of this tournament. Anivia ban targeted at Froggen, and the first pick Jace. This is something CLG has done numerous times here. Not only do they block Shy and the other team from having it, they gain so much disengage and fight control with that acceleration gate from Jace. And that first pick is going to work out well for them.
So how will the Azubu Frost pick against that with the Jace pick? We've seen a number of things from Shy. We've seen Shen in there. We've seen Singed in there. What will they go with against Wicked's Jace? And you can see Shy there on your screen.
The thing is that Aurelia has shown as somewhat of the counter to Jace, and the fact that they pick it first means what are you actually going to do about it? We know that Stanley played an amazing Nidalee in the past game. That would line up against Jace. Taking the Karthus away from CLG EU would be very strong. They banned out the Cogmore. They're really just taking out what worked for CLG EU, trying to throw them off their standard play. And even though you say you can't really ban out CLG EU, you can at least try to make them uncomfortable. And you do that by picking their champions and making them play something slightly different than what they did the last game.
And the Alistair's
Big time
being
Alistair.
picked up. And Alistair, of course, one of the big, strong champions in Korea. Now, the big question I'm going to have for you now is, has CLG EU been playing Evelyn?
I don't think Froggen's actually been playing Evelyn because it got left off of the picker ban. I think what they did here...
He asked us whether Rapid Star played Evelyn, didn't they?
And they don't think that Azubu plays Evelyn, but I don't think Froggen plays it either, so they actually just saved picks and bans. They got the target out, and they weren't fearful of Evelyn. I don't think they're going to end up picking it themselves here. They get the Maokai.
Happy.
He is looking very happy. They have something planned here.
It's not going to be Nasus, surely.
No way.
After we just heard Skara saying, I can't think of any team comp that Nasus fits into, I would be extremely surprised if they go Nasus versus Jace.
Have Scar eat his words almost immediately if that were to happen, but I am doubtful as well. That Zara, however,
that's a definite support.
Could very well be a support, and if they did that, they put Alistair into the jungle, which would be surprising to me because Madlife's Alistair play against CLG EU in the 5th game of that was crazy. They made a highlight reel out of everything he was doing to zone people out of fights. Coming in with Shen and York would be pretty strong for them here. Seeing as Wicked hasn't picked in Italy, obviously, because we saw how well that matchup turned out. And Shah's had success with York in the past.
So Yorick has been locked in. Looks like it's going to be Shen in the jungle, which means it's going to be Madlife support. We're just waiting for the final AD. I would hesitate and guess it's going to be Graves. So we're pretty sure what Azubu Frost are going to pick. It could be Corki, of course. He could go Corki, but he's a pretty popular Graves player, I believe, Gungwoo.
Gunwoo has shown that he really does subscribe to that big 3, pick 80 carries with dashes. Seeing as Ezreal's already gone, Graves is his natural fallback, especially when he has to deal with something like Maokai going on him. In the past, though, teams up against Maokai would generally pick Corki over Graves because the dash range is more likely to take them into a tower. If Crepo gets to play Soraka, he used to play an absolute ton of this. And if they do this, they're going to go for a Morgana potentially. They try to land a Dark Binding and then combo it up with the Jace. This is something that they were talking about earlier. This is a poke comp, essentially. They try to get a lead, they land the Binding, and they combo it down in.
Bringing out game 1, that means Flash Bananas are available to Crepo. That's where it came from, where that phrase was coined against Moscow 5. However, they're against the Azubu Frost, and Moscow 5 are out of the tournament. Will CLG EU follow them? That is the question. Final pick. Now we're just waiting for that Morgana to get locked in. Expecting it will do. And will it be Graves or will it be Corki? I'd be surprised if they pull out something else. It could be Draven, which is definitely an interesting one because remember CLG EU banned out Draven against Dignitas because they said, we simply don't know how to play against Draven.
That would be a level of research that I think would be absolutely crazy for them. I don't think they're willing to play an 80 carry without a blink, especially against Maokai and Morgana. It's too vulnerable in all these scenarios. Tristana, I can see it because of how they know CLG EU takes it super late game, and that's when Tristana would become relevant because her range would get above 700. But the misfortune, we did see that twice in the group stage already, but that is, just remembering, I'm kind of eating my own words here, they have played AD carries that don't have blinks. They did play MF twice, and it was very successful. But this is very dangerous. This is the mid-game strategy for them, because if it does get hyper late, he won't have enough safety to be able to take it over. That's a very aggressive pick by Azubu Frost.
So you've seen the team comps. You know exactly what CLG EU are going to do because, well, they told us. Simply as that. You know, they told you. I was like, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I just want to see it. I will leak this stuff.
This is a strategy they had prepared really before any of this. It's something they've really wanted to run. It's all about Dark Binding queued into everything else. I'm a little concerned for CLG EU because this does differ slightly from their standard play that they've been so good at. We haven't seen Froggen on Morgana in forever. We don't know his confidence level. They're so comfortable playing Karthus, and that got taken away from them by Rapid Star. So this is going to be tricky for them. They really have to execute well, and it does feel like they're out of their comfort zone.
Well, they said that this is a tactic we discovered 2 days ago, and we've been practicing it since. So that tells me they've been practicing it with Type A Assassins.
That would be a good possibility, and who better to practice against from Taipei Assassins, the team that just beat Moscow 5 and also mimics a very aggressive style. If all CLG wants to do is turtle, who better to practice that against than TPA?
And of course, you know, there's no point saving it because TPA know exactly what it is.
So they have to use it now. They have to use it anyway.
Yeah, so Azubu Frost, how do you counter this one? They've got 2 global ultis in there. They've got the Karthus Shen. They've got the Yorick as well to help out. We know a Mad Life is absolutely awesome on Alistair. The team comps definitely are strong in favor of Azubu Frost, certainly from their point of view of being relaxed on the characters they're with.
I don't think they're going to be able to outpoke because we've seen Mad Life's ability to just initiate fights with Alistair before, even zoning out in the start of them. They have a team comp that can create. They have the Shen taunts, they have the Karthus walls, which we've seen. They stopped the double wall strategy from CLG EU as well. They had the Jace Karthus walls before. They blocked that. Really, Azubu Frost done their homework as they all now run out of the base. Everyone up top. They might try something sneaky, maybe a delayed Blue Invade or something along that.
So if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, the semi-final has got underway. This is the second semi-final. If you missed the first one, Taipei Assassins versus Moscow 5. It was epic. And Taipei Assassins are now in the finals, waiting to see who they will face on Saturday, October 13th, here in the Galen Center in Los Angeles. CLG and the blue team, Azubu Frost as the red team. It is OGN Summer Championships all over again. Who will be facing Taipei Assassins? Some would say a definite shock finalist, but honestly, they have proven themselves. They come against Najin Sword and Moscow 5, 2 really of very strong teams, and they've beaten them both cleanly.
So crazy to think that Moscow 5 is out of this tournament here, and a lot of poke going back and forth. These are the last 3 teams in the world that are here. We're going to see one of these, and they'll be playing for $1 million after this. It's crazy to think about. Everything lies on these next 3 games. They've already played that best of 5. They're poking back and forth, and there's a defensive start by both of these guys. They got the wards down where they wanted them, but other than that, it looks like they're just going to go standard in the jungle.
And we talked about the nerves, the pressure, the adrenaline, the shakes in your hand coming into this match. It's just, I can't even imagine what these guys go through when they have to really come up against these big pressure situations. As it is, we're going to get no crazy invades coming out here. Snoopate, CLG playing it standard, Azubu Frost playing it standard. They've got to start off, they want to be where they're comfortable.
And we did see a double golem take by CLG EU. There hasn't been much of that this tournament because of all the aggression and craziness that happened level 1. That's going to help them hit level 2 earlier in that lane and try and get onto Woong since he is vulnerable on MF unless he snowballs the lane and gets very far ahead. Want to look over at the top lane though. How's Wicked going to be dealing with Shy's Yorick? Because Nidalee was able to push on very hard to Yorick. Shy has something in his back pocket as well. He's played a fair bit of Yorick already this tournament, and Wicked actually hasn't been dominating lanes on Jace. He's more been using it for the teamfight utility. Whether he's strong enough to go up against Shy is going to decide a lot in this game.
About the pressure on the bottom lanes as well. Yellow Pete, Grun Woong. The Asian AD carriers have really been showing strong signs in this whole tournament. Yellow Pete struggled heavily in the last game as well, you know, against Wei Zhao. Wei Zhao was very much out farming, and Wicked already losing a lot of hit points in that top lane, so again, showing the confidence they have early levels in Yorick.
And bottom, They got the double golems, but they haven't aggressed anything before level 2, so Woong happily free farming that lane. And it's tricky for Yellow Pete. He did have that comeback on Kog'Maw, but every time he's been on Ezreal this tournament, he has gotten out-farmed and generally had to stall and kind of wait for his team to create form. And with the Soraka lane, there's just going to be more of that. It is about the farming for him, and he has to prevent Alistair, Misfortune, an extremely aggressive lane, from getting on top of him.
And you know, we've seen Crepo here on Soraka. It's something he is very comfortable with. I mean, he used to constantly be that strong Soraka player. Obviously, they've won the coin toss. They've got the blue side. So this is probably why they pulled it straight out here. Shy's going to get dived on. A good knockback there. You can see the twisted advance. He should get the knockup. Will he be able to walk away from this one? Shy's going to have flash available. I believe he's just burnt it out. He's going to get dropped down. First blood for Snoopy. Very nicely played in that top lane. And that should snowball for Wicked in the top down.
Great gank. They did burn everything, but it was absolutely worth it. The lane gank, brute force. Shy did not expect them to come up from there, and it burned his flash. So he's going to be very vulnerable throughout the rest of this. Snoopy could very well go straight back there and try the same gank again, because they can pull that off almost whenever they want. It's going to be trouble there for Shy early on.
The bottom lane, I said Count Templar trying to get on Froggen's action. Of course, he doesn't let anyone take the race. It's not even his own jungler. Meanwhile, down that bottom lane, the ping's gone down. This is Yellow Pete. Is he just simply saying, yep, they are in this bush, we're aware of it. It's that dangerous situation. Ooh, Mad Life is sat. He wants to get on it. Instead, he is going to show himself in a couple of shots in the back there from Yellow Pete. Just trying to force him out of that bush. So the mid lane is currently 30 to 38. Froggen winning in the CS, something he couldn't do against WE Messiah.
And that's a good start for Froggen. Karthus and Morgana is a farm out lane, and there were not enough wards here. Snoopy coming around again for Shy. Shy has no flash.
Snoopy coming around. There's going to be the sapling going down. Twisted advance knocks him back again. Wicked's going to get the knockback. This should be another kill. And Shy is in all manner of trouble here. Who's going to pick it up? He's going to have Cloud Templar coming around, tried to support him, but Wicked picks up the kill once again. 1-0-1. Both those now. That's going to help out the jungler as well as the AD carry. The top lane bruiser.
And just look around the map for Azubu Frost right now. That only good ward for them on the map is that one in the top lane river, but Snoopy was able to sneak around. This is sometimes a ward mid can save your top laner's life, and Azubu Frost did not have it there. If they had the ward on CLG EU's jungle exits, like most teams do, they would have seen Snoopy enter the jungle and sneak around, but since they didn't, it cost Shy his second death of the game, and that is a great start for CLG EU. When they come out ahead in the early game, it is really difficult for teams to come back on them. I've almost never seen it.
So top lane could be in trouble. Certainly seems to be brutalized, being picked up by Wicked there. In terms of the jungle, I mean, we're seeing an oracle, a very early oracle here from Snoopy.
This is trying to snowball early, but the thing is, this isn't even a naked oracles. He does have that Philosopher's Stone. It's because he picked up the early kills, and when Maokai starts the game early, he's one of the best junglers in the game. There's not many wards, to be honest, for him to go clear out. He's going to go get them now, but Shy is going to be incredibly vulnerable, because with Snoopy having that oracles, there's no way he can protect against the ganks. They have to essentially counter-gank them with Cloud Templar. Once Shen is level 6, they will be able to turn some of these things, but that early oracles for Snoopy is going to do so much. Maokai, one of the best snowballing junglers in the game, to be quite honest.
This bottom lane actually very even. We're just going to see Yellow Pete go back and buy, so we'll see what he picks up off the back. You can see that's going to be a double Doran's and a Boots, along with a pink ward picked up by Gunwung.
Pink ward by Gunwung, and that's just warding by committee. We saw WE pretty much let FCZF get everything. Different strategy here by Azubu Frost. With the pink ward, they're looking for control of the brush. Alistair loves to camp, and then he'll headbutt Pulverize out of it. They're making sure that they don't have anything down bottom, and Shy is in big trouble. Wicked turning into a huge lane bully, and that's what's going to happen when you die twice early on to a Jace.
He's just absolutely bullying him. We are seeing an early fade straight away coming out. No Doran's Blades, so Yellow Pete feeling very confident in that bottom lane. Going to go for Infinity Force directly, and look at that. Shy just absolutely forced away in that top lane. And again, Snoopy creeping around. He's in the tri-bush, going to go around. Honestly, there's no reason why they shouldn't lane dive this one.
Cloud Templar trying to get level 6 as quickly as possible. He's not going to make... No, he just did get level 6. If they lane dive this, they could try to turn around with the channel. Here it comes.
And Yorick hasn't got his ultimate. That's going to be Wicked. Wicked taking a lot of damage. Wicked will go down. And that was a really good turnaround. Shy coming in there to help out. Cloud Templar, coming in to help Shy out there. And really very successful defense.
And that was Cloud Templar's plan. He had to rush to level 6 because that was the only way he was going to be able to defend his top laner Shy. They knew that the Oracles was getting cleared out, and here we see a potential invade by Froggen, but that's not going to be able to do much. Farming out that mid lane, still very even. Really had to give it to Cloud Templar, knowing the only way he can protect his top laner was to get level 6 as soon as possible, and he did just that.
So potential overconfidence, maybe? How would you give that one? Mid lane has been pushed. We're seeing Morgana heading south here, along with Snoopy. I think they may try and make an attempt. No, he's just saying, I'm going to take your race against Snoopy. I know you stood right next to him, but I'll keep on that tax.
I think that was overconfidence by CLG. It's strange because we saw, even in their first game against WE, the double tower dive on the Wicked, the second one got turned around by a global ult, and they didn't necessarily see it coming. Now the next time they do it here, there's the Rapid Star ult on Karthus as well that could come in anytime they try to go aggressive. The Alistair MF, Woong, starting to get a slight lead onto Yellow Pete. If they try to get aggressive, Snoopy clearing out those wards. If Snoopy goes in, there will be the Requiem coming in. They have to be very careful in almost every lane right now.
So Woong just using that pink ward to clear out that bottom lane. Snoopy is going to sneak across, but in fact he will pick up the purple ward. So that purple ward just been placed by Woong there, has been taken out already. Aggressive stuff from Froggen in that mid lane, forcing Rapid Star back. He has got Wicked coming down, which means the Dragon is almost certainly on the cards for CLG here. And Snoopy, again, with that Oracle, clearing out the wards. So everything now completely clear. We've got 5 members of CLG all in the river.
And they have to be careful. This Dragon looks like it's going to be... If Cloud Templar goes in for a steal here, it's going to be very aggressive. That's the only thing they can get. They can't win a team fight here. It looks like he might try to steal them, but CLG trying to zone them out.
So you can see the Misfortune ultimate. Here comes the Karthus ultimate. Will it be enough? Do they manage to get the steal? No, they do not. Snoopy gets it. They're going to turn the attention. That's going to be a kill. Rapid Life, Mad Life getting on towards Snoopy. That's an Oracle burn. That's a good turnaround. Cloud Templar's going to go down. Wicked's got away with this one. Crepo might get dropped. Woong's on the back of Froggen. You will get in there. Mad Life taken very low. Hasn't got his ultimate available. Forces the flash from Froggen there. And Woong might be able to pick up on Wicked here. He's going to get another shot. Will it be enough on the turret? Has he got enough to take it? No. Wicked has baited him in. If we could get the camera back down there, we can see they're going for it. On towards the champions. Damn it. Woong's taken down very low. We missed all the action, but he was almost dead on the back. And you can see Froggen is trying to push the pace there.
That was a bit of an overdive, and I was so surprised that Azubu Frost went into that. They got enough damage out with the Misfortune ultimate that they went in for a 4v5. Keep in mind, that entire time, Shy was pushing the top lane, so he's actually surpassed Wicked in minion kills. Now, CLG did get the Dragon, but that fight was even in most regards, and CLG was lucky to get away with their lives there. Really close fight, and that shows the absolute aggression from Azubu Frost. Really, Moscow 5's one of the only other teams that will fight down men if they see that window. And that's just a preview of things to come for Azubu Frost, because that fight was well played.
It was well played, but the gold advantage is slightly in favor of CLG EU at the moment. Remember, they did get the Dragon. Was it worth losing the Oracle, though, on Snoopy?
That's going to be tricky. The great thing about that is he did have the Philosopher's Stone. He does have a Heart of Gold right now. He lost the Oracle, but he's not too far behind, because you look at the total gold flow, and he's about 400 ahead of Cloud Templar overall, which is the cost of that Oracles. So losing that does set him back, but it doesn't put him behind Cloud Templar.
Yeah, and you can see the gold difference. Snoopy obviously slightly ahead at the moment. Looking at the top lane, Wicked is definitely ahead in the gold there. No surprise, did pick up a couple of kills. AD-wise, Misfortune, Woong are definitely ahead on that one. But Froggen is a long way ahead, though. Froggen could get jumped on here. Cloud Templar's going to come round. Pulls the Black Shield down. Pops his ultimate. Can he turn this into a kill? I'm not too sure. Rapid Star's definitely the target. Rapid Star's going to get taken very low. Cloud Templar using the ultimate to save Rapid Star. Oh! And Froggen dodging out of the way there. Is the sapling going to get on, though? We didn't go for Rapid Star. Went for Cloud Templar instead. Drew that aggro. And the Ezreal ultimate from Yellow Pete, not quite enough to catch onto them.
65 health there. Froggen living off of the spell vamp, and that Abyssal Scepter rush coming in to fruition there. All the damage from Shen and Karthus was mostly magical. He was barely able to stay alive, and the turn was so close by Snoopy. They're taking a lot of tower damage after that fight, and here comes a Karthus ult. I don't know what it's going for. Maybe bottom? Top? Not quite sure there. Could have just been used to push him off the tower.
It may well just be pushing him off the tower. It definitely wasn't for Wicked there. He was pushing on towards Shy, probably to get them off that middle turret. Froggen was taken fairly low on the back of it. Was expecting to see whether Gunwin was going to turn something on towards Yellow Pete, but it didn't manage to turn into anything. 13 minutes gone in this game, just 1k difference, 3-2 in kills, no turrets at all. Very, very tight game.
And how is CLG EU going to progress in this game without Karthus? Because they are so comfortable just playing that style. The front line / mid line of Karthus makes it protect the AD carry, because if, for instance, if CLG EU wants to get onto Woong, they have to go through the Karthus defile, and that is an extremely hard thing to ignore. On top of that, you'll have the bullet time coming out from MF. It's actually a very strong teamfight phase from Azubu Frost, which is out of CLG EU's comfort zone. If they have the most confidence going late game, but comp-wise, it's actually going to be fairly close and well fought. This could really just come down to perfect execution in teamfights and the smallest things. The post-game interview, actually, Crepo ended up saying, Azubu Frost is one of the best team-fighting teams, and we think we're one of the best team-fighting teams. It could just come down to straight-up execution by the end of it.
Yeah, just a case of who would come and approach it either side. Very detailed and very respectful, I got to be honest, from both teams. As it is at the moment, the bottom lane is definitely being won by Gunwoo. 127 to 103 CS. Mid lane, we are seeing Froggen slightly ahead. We saw how aggressive he was feeling. We're seeing it right again here. Puts the Black Shield out there, pops the ultimate on towards Rapid Star, tries to dodge those layaways. Has he got enough? No, he hasn't. The Dark Binding caught onto a minion there, and they both back away from that one. Yeah, neither player wanted to budge there. They were just like, we are going to duel this one out. Straight up 1v1, no junglers anywhere near. Shen Ultimate wasn't available, just went straight by.
And quite honestly, that minion saved Rapid Star's life. If he hit the Dark Binding inside of the Tormented Soul, he would have been done. And this bottom lane has really started to turn for Azubu Frost. That impure shots from Misfortune is negating a lot of the de-aggroing of Soraka's heal. It's healing for half as much. They aren't able to just brawl them. Even with that early phase, they're just getting out-pushed. Woong and Madlife controlling the brushes a lot, just keeping them pushed back to the tower. And aside from that, they can't create much. Cloud Templar now with an Oracle's Elixir trying to create a lot for his team. The top lane is actually equalized during that Dragon when Shy was able to free farm, and also during that tower dive. He clawed his way back into that game, and that's the mark, potentially, of some of the better top laners, is when they fall behind, they know how to claw back. And the fact that he's come back from 0-2 really speaks volumes to his skill up there.
Indian Boots being picked up here by Wicked. Definitely something we haven't seen him take, I don't think, on Jace. Just keep him across the board. Now, we did see that Phage being picked up very early by Yellow Pete. I don't think he's backed since then, so we'll see where he's going to go. Probably a ZLO, yes. No, it's going to go straight Sheen. Okay, has of course got that Vampiric Scepter in there, has had it for a while, so no surprise. Wants to put just a little bit of proc damage on towards Gunwing. Gunwing also backing off. Probably got enough for a BF sword maybe now. And that's going to be Wicked catch on towards Rapid Star, trying to force them back. Dragon is available shortly. There is just spawned up. Ping goes down, and immediately means they're going to push through. Of course, they could go for the middle turret.
We could also see a big fight around Dragon here, because this time both teams want to engage. The fact that Azubu Frost was almost able to 4v5 them in that fight was big, but with this, all the poke that CLG has come out with has taken Rapid Star to half health. He's just running up towards his blue buff right now, if we can get a look at that, but they're not necessarily in position to teamfight with how low Rapid Star is. This is going to cause CLG to ping down on the Dragon, but they're going back with Froggen as well right here. This is most likely going to be a fight around the Dragon. It could just take a lot of time to develop, because neither of these teams wants to engage. Another great poke by Wicked. Look at Rapid Star's health up by the race. That acceleration gated Shock Blast is really chunking him down.
So Rapid Star's going to have to back out here. You can see Froggen returning to lane. Yellow Pete, meanwhile, is farming down that bottom lane, getting all the free farm. Cloud Templar's going to clear out the wards that had been placed there, but Yellow Pete is taking advantage of this to try and claw back some of that CS score against Gunwoo. You can see it's a 20 difference he was. It's down to 10 already. Definitely catching in things. Cloud Templar, though, trying to clear out. You can see Yellow Pete saying no. Tri-Bush Ward, that's safe.
That mid-tower's going down.
The mid-turret has gone down. Wicked's picked that one up. Actually, Crepo gets the last hit. Scumbag Crepo always does. And that is definitely going to make CLG say, now we have complete focus on this mid lane, the Dragon.
And there's a big wave pushing up top, so if they force the Dragon over here, they're going to lose a lot of that experience from the top lane. But because they are poking around this, neither team actually seems to want to start on the Dragon because of the damage it could deal to them. I'd expect Azubu Frost to actually start something here. They do have sort of the strength here with the Misfortune. They're just worried about the poke, especially with Snoopy, who going back to base there. They're sending Cloud Templar up to the top lane to get that experience. He can always come down with the Shen ult. And this is a bit of a stall out by both teams. Normally it's CLG EU creating this, but a lot of this is actually on the tails of Azubu Frost's actions.
Yeah, we just got a glimpse of Madlife missing the pulverize, trying to go maximum distance on Yellow Pete. Yellow Pete already arcane shifted away in reaction, but did just miss out on it. CLG now in that stronger position. There is no wall placement, there's just that singular one down the side. Can they catch up to Good One? No! Wicked using a flash to try and get onto him, but the dive binds on Madlife, forcing the ultimate from Madlife straight away. Goonwook trying to possess him, trying to pulse him back, and Wicked there tried to hit out. And that means Madlife is going to be very low for this potential fight. Froggen just waiting, trying to throw out that dark bindage blindly into the tri-bush, not landing anything. And they are going to pull out the dragon.
And Woong has no flash for this engagement, but Rapidstar flashing into this Defile!
They're going to go straight into it. Rapidstar will get dropped. Misfortune trying to get the ultimate straight across. He does successfully do that. Rapidstar has gone down. That's going to be the Yorick ultimate used up, and they dark binding him. He's not going to be able to do anything from it, and that is going to be the Requiem going out. Not a lot coming from it. Rapidstar, of course, is just a ghost. He will drop down, tries to land more spells, but they did pick up the dragon. That was nicely played by Azubu Frost there. To manage to get that dragon despite the fact and not using Shen's ultimate.
And they got the turret. The ultimate was used by Shen. He just didn't teleport in because they killed him before he could get there. Everything got dumped down onto Rapidstar, but because of the Yorick Ghost, they zoned them out long enough to take the dragon. So honestly, sacrificing Rapidstar's life for a dragon and a turret pulls them even in gold. And with that as well, Woong continuing to outfarm Yellow Pete. This has been a problem for them almost this entire tournament. These Asian AD carries have been dominating Yellow Pete's lane. Woong, no exception. He's going to be getting that Infinity Edge quite shortly.
Yeah, the light's going wild in the venue here. Dazzling even me as we stand and watch this game. 20 minutes gone. You guys are really in for a pleasant surprise when you get here. It's not so much a surprise. Most of you have seen the construction underway. So I expect the atmosphere in here, Jap, will be absolutely outstanding. Funny to hear, actually, we were backstage with the players. The players were chanting TPA.
That's a strange thing for them.
There's a lot of Asian teams.
There's been so much Moscow 5 domination for this too, and TPA really proving that the rest of the world is quite strong as well. And no better than that, just because of how well they beat Najin and how much they destroyed. I mean, they didn't destroy Moscow 5, but in those last 2 games they looked
the second
really
game they absolutely destroyed them. Yeah, I mean, they really did look very good. So Azubu Frost and CLG, they are trying their best to make it to that grand finals on October 13th. 5 p.m. Pacific time here, and that's going to be Cloud Templar getting caught out by the Dark Binding. They're not going to follow up though. It was an Oracle. They really wanted to get the kill, but honestly they didn't know the position of everyone else. But certainly with the Karthus just off the side there, Froggen continues to be that farming machine. 199 CS to 172 has gone towards the Zhonya's Hourglass. Pretty standard builds across the board. I think we're fine.
The big thing here is the Aegis of the Legion on Snoopy does give him a bit of team advantage. And here comes a fight by Madlife. No, he's really just harassing with Headbutt and Pulverize. The disengage by CLG EU, as they pretty much always do, they just say, hey, let's fall back, worked wonders in the last Dragon fight despite losing the objectives. So much of this is on Azubu Frost. Wicked pushing down the bottom turret. They're applying a bit of pressure, but this game is one of the closest CLG EU games I think I've seen this tournament.
So the question is, when we start moving into the late game, which we're at 21 minutes, mid-game currently on, CLG tend to turn the tables here. We keep continuing to pressure and picking up that bottom turret. That is 2-1 in terms of turret. CLG now with that advantage. Of course, the mid turret is the big important one, which they did take down earlier on when they were trying to force that dragon. We're seeing Froggen just off to the side. The wall of pain catching on towards Yellow Pete there. I think they're just trying to bait something in here. CLG EU want to cause a fight here, it seems. And there it is. Madlock gets in. The Pulverize comes down. Hasn't used the headbutt yet. That's going to be the good one using the ultimate across there from Misfortune. The Ezreal ultimate forcing them back as well. But not a great deal. Nobody really dropping below half health there. You can see the accelerator gate. They do catch Rapidstar down a little bit there. And the Yorick ultimate was forced. Very nicely played.
And these fights, it's Azubu Frost really trying to force on, and CLG EU just disengaging, and now the poke is on. This is how they're going to try to win this game. Not team fighting, and then out-poking them. Those Shock Blast acceleration gates crushing. If they land a Dark Binding with one of that, it's going to be a kill. And this is how they want to play this. They're getting the tower because they avoided the engagement, they poked them down, and they're going to try and repeat this again and again to grind out a victory here. This is what they wanted to do. This is how they play. How many times have we said CLG wants to grind out a victory, but we just saw it because that was everything Azubu Frost tried to dump into that last engagement, and they didn't even get close to a kill. They burned almost everything on that engage, and they got poked right back, lost a tower. They might get a little gun shy here because that hurt them. They need to find a way of flanking. They need to find a new way of team fighting. This is looking good for CLG.
It is, and it's actual early aggression, I guess you could say. Certainly early from CLG terms.
It is.
They are definitely turning the tables here, and the poke game again coming on. Honestly, I'm not too sure Azubu Frost want to fight for this one. There's a couple minions there. They should take advantage of it. They've caught Cloud Templar in the Dark Bindings, and again, he is unable to get involved in this fight. CLG EU just going to wait for the next wave to come up there. We'll get a couple more pokes onto it.
And poke is actually, even though CLG is a late game team, a bit of a mid-game strategy. The poke is only as strong as the time in the game. Froggen trying to come around the side, but they have wards to check it out. Wicked just spamming those spells onto the tower, and it looks like they're going to be able to take it down again because Azubu Frost right now doesn't have an answer for this poke. As long as they stay here, it's shown they can engage team fights, and the longer they wait in the turret, the lower they get. So they're eventually going to have to back off here.
Yellow Pete actually trying to bait something out, and there it is, the flash taunt from the Cloud Templar, but they immediately disengage. They just back away and say, fine, we will poke you again. And honestly, they're quite happy to just keep forcing him back there. Cloud Templar again taken down. There's the wall. That's surely going to be good one going down. They would just turn everything towards him. Yes, they will. That's the Yorick ultimate dropped on him, and they just back off, say thank you very much. We've picked up a kill. We are not in trouble any way, shape, or form. Very, very well executed by CLG EU. They will take the tower off the back of this one. They're going to go in there. Cloud Templar's got to be careful he doesn't get caught out. Yellow Pete will hit the damn tower.
This is great for CLG EU. We've seen some poke comps executed well in the past, but this one in particular is a little bit better because they have such a strong team fight if they do actually get engaged on. Normally, Morgana, Maokai, Jace are actually very good at initiating. It's just the disengage. A lot of their ability with this comes from how good CLG EU is at disengaging. They have so much defense here. The Maokai ultimate on top of the Aegis, on top of the Soraka Aura, on top of her global healing. It's just Azubu Frost really has to try hard to get in here, but CLG is going to continue and disengage. The blue buff coming into Frog, and that top tower going to be their next target because they push down 2 in the mid and in the bot. Those 2 on the top are going to be next to fall for CLG.
So the Dragon is available. He just backed off. You can see that he put the sapling down. He's going to be well aware of Mad Life coming around there. Would have seen him putting that ward down. CLG EU, 26-minute gone. It's 5-2 up. Have the advantage. And we do not see CLG EU throw away these advantages. I'm hard-pressed to think the last time in the mid-game they have this such huge advantage that they lost the game.
In all honesty, Game 3 of the OGN Finals against Azubu Frost was actually turned around on them. They had a lead and they gave it away. Really the only team to ever come back on CLG EU was Azubu Frost. Can they do it again? They're certainly the ones who know how, but CLG knows how that happened to them. And here, they knew CLG might have been pushing top. They get this dragon for free, but they're eventually going to trade this tower. And after they get this dragon, Azubu has to go defend. That turret's already going to be gone.
The turret is going on. You can see the Wicked and Froggen already on that. Yellow Pete was coming around the side. He's going to try and collapse on towards Shen. Shen's just going to back away. Instead, they're going to go around. Is Red available? Red is not available, so they're going to keep driving on. Cloud Templar is coming on. Can they catch someone through the jungle? You can see Froggen just around their side there. Catches Mad Life with the Dark Binding. And that means they're going to be coming down the side. Do they want to defend this one? That's the question. CLG EU just poke them down. They did exactly the same thing on the bottom lane.
Azubu already down 5 turrets to 1, and if they're not careful, it's going to be 6. But really, they don't have a good way of defending this. Look at the poke, the Dark Binding, the Tormented Soil, the Shock Blast Acceleration Gate, and really, Azubu's tried so many times to fight them. Now they've already been poked down. There's no way they're initiating this fight. This turret is surely going to fall. They're trying to split go for the Cloud Templar, but they're going to lose some members here.
They've gone for a Shy. He's going to go down. He's been silenced and he will get dropped eventually. No! Oh, thought he got away with that one. but they can see just got him from the tormented soil, and Froggen pushes forward, and now they're in a 4-on-5 situation.
CLG might dive this because they know Cloud Templar is pushing mid, they know they have a man advantage, and this could actually be some aggression. Look at Woom getting extremely low. They might just try to take this turret and inhib.
They tried to go for Woong now with the Ezreal True Shot Barrage. Doesn't matter, they could get the inhibitor turret. They will. They've turned it into a real good push here. Still, Shy is in that mid lane. He's going to have to come back. He's taking that turret in the middle. But honestly, trading an inhibitor for an outer turret, that's craziness.
That's almost a panic move. They thought they'd be able to hold the inhibitor because they knew that they just get outpoked when they sit there. They were hoping CLG was going to try to do an extended dive, but then when Shy got caught out like that, there's no way they could hold with 3, even 4 members. They would have lost the team fight, and if they would have gotten aced on that inhibitor, that would have been a 28-minute defeat for them. They need CLG EU to make a mistake because that poke so far has been flawless. They need to catch them out at Baron or something creative because CLG EU probably isn't even going to go for Baron. They know how well they poke down at these turrets. They're going to have super minions over in that top lane. If they go for the bottom tower and just rinse and repeat what they've been doing already, I don't see what Azubu Frost does to stop it. They're going to try an all-out, absolute last-ditch effort at initiating when they get to that turret, because other than that, they're just getting starved out of their turrets right now.
We're already seeing the Yellow Peak with that Trinity Force already nearly got the Infinity Edge as well. 103, 218 CS, 242 CS for Gunwoo. Gunwoo definitely got a good build on. The problem is the rest of his team are really fighting against an uphill struggle here. The poke comp coming out, Wicked Yellow Peak just throwing it out there, and again, Froggen catching out Shy with that Dark Bindings really has been key to setting up the kills, key to setting up the poke. Once someone's Dark Binding, I mean, it's so easy for Wicked to just hit them.
And there's not even an Oracles right now on Azubu Frost. Their Oracles is on Cloud Templar off farming. So they're trying the last-ditch initiation here. Can they get it? There's a disengage coming already.
Because the Yorick Ultimate used on Rapid Star, they've just backed straight away. They can do it so quickly. We saw it in the Team WE game, or sorry, game 2 or whatever you want to call it. If you guys can cast your mind back, they definitely managed to disengage. They had the Wall of Pain, they had the Acceleration Gate in their game. They just managed to get straight away. Shirelli popped away, and the Acceleration Gate, they just walked straight away. And now Azubu Frost completely separated. COG's going to get in, going to hit this turret. It's already half health. They should be able to shred it down. Mad Life's trying desperately to keep them there. Headbutt Pulverize going down. Actually, they missed the headbutt when Wicked just with the Dark Shield, keeping them at bay. Again, the poke coming out. Wicked and Yellow Pete just absorbing the damage on towards Cloud Templar, doing as much as he can, but honestly, there's only so much tanking you can do against this poke.
A well-executed poke comp is one of the most hopeless things to fight against because you try to initiate and you know it's going to get punished. You try to sit in the tower and that gets punished as well. This turret now at half health. The next Dark Bind that lands will either be the turret or a team fight victory. There it is. He's now at half health. He's trying to take out wards, but he's at half health. All of their team getting lower and lower. The turret getting lower and lower. CLG EU just sitting pretty. Safety with the Black Shield, with their disengage. They're trying to use everything to keep them off this turret, but it's only a matter of time until this turret falls and CLG takes their second hit.
And it just needs one more hit. There it is from Yellow Pete. Goes up, hits that turret out, and what is Azubu Frost going to do about this? They're in desperate trouble. There's a huge creep wave on the bottom lane as well. CLG EU could be able to turn this one around in a matter of seconds. Cloud Templar's gone down there to try and clear it out. It means the inhibitor's going to go down. They're going to turn on towards Cloud Templar. Cloud Templar's got to be careful. He's going to get Flash Ultimate on them. That's the Dark Binding lands. Cloud Templar drops an Oracle down. That is the least of their worries, though, because CLG EU are ripping through them. You can see they're trying to turn back on, and a quick disengage for CLG EU. So quick to just back away from all the damage of Azubu Frost, and they are helpless against CLG EU right now.
And this is Jace in a lot of ways. The Acceleration Gate is the key to their disengagements. Obviously, the Black Shield and there goes Woom. There goes the tower. They're big team fight here.
Big team fight is definitely going to go CLG EU's way. Rapid Star already dropped the Yorick Ultimate on him. They're going to separate away from Rapid Star. Wicked might go down from this one. Mad Life will get dropped as well. He's sounding the pull. Froggen turns around. Yellow Star. Yellow Pete will go down. Sorry, Yellow Star's on a completely different team. Shy may be able to pick up a couple of kills here on the back. You can see he's going to try and desperately get on towards Snoopy. This could turn around, but no! Froggen is there again. Just enough mana to land the Dark Binding, and CLG walk away.
And that was a 3 for 2, so it looked like they might lose a team fight there, but they actually came out ahead. 9 turrets down, 2 dead inhibitors, the last one being exposed. Shen desperately fighting against these 2 Nexus turrets. The Baron is a free choice for CLG EU now. Only 32 minutes into the game, and they pushed and obliterated Azubu's Frost base. They do not have an answer for this poke. Brilliant team composition thus far from CLG EU, and that practice against Taipei Assassin seems to have paid off in spades because they've only been practicing this comp for 2 days. Imagine if they have 4 days for the World Finals coming up after this.
Absolutely. The question is, what will Azubu Frost do to react to this one? It's looking like CLG EU are almost certainly going to close this game out. How do you react? Did you react to a comp that you probably won't see next time around? Because I'm going to guess, I'm going to throw it out there, CLG EU probably only had this plan for blue side.
There could be a good chance. I actually think this comp would work regardless of side. There's nothing unique about it. They're now down on the Baron. They look at that Dark Binding. Mad Life can't even get close. Everyone else has to sit in the base defending turret. They might try last ditch effort. They might try last fight. But if they do, they're so weak at this point because of all the turrets and all the poke. And they can't even look at Baron now because the Dark Bindings like an assassin are coming up for Froggen. And this Baron looks like it's going to fall. There's nothing they can do up against it.
You can see Gunwung, I think he's maybe trying to attempt putting the ulti across, but if he got caught in that Dark Binding, he would go straight down. Froggen really is an assassin. Sniper landing it. Gunwung's got to be careful. He's just stood there and the Dark Binding going through. They're, of course, on top of that ward, and the rest of the team having to back away from this one helplessly against CLG EU coming in with that Baron team. You can see the damage coming out from Wicked. He's got that Bloodthirst and that last Whisper, the Brutalizer, Ionian Boots. He's just getting the reset, just constantly pumping out the damage there. Again, hitting Mad Life from Cloud Templar. Shy's trying to get in, trying to force the damage, but while they do this, super minions now coming through that mid lane as well, just forcing them back. Froggen again off the side there, just waiting to land that Dark Binding. If it were to hit someone right now, they would go down.
And they're just slowly poking down at this inhibitor. They know that Azubu Frost is going to get sucked away to defend their inhibitors. Cloud Templar had to go to the bottom. He's clearing. If he wants to go back in, he's going to need a Shen ult. And that inhibitor is essentially indefensible. If they couldn't defend turrets that would fight back for them, how are they going to defend inhibitors against this poke? And this is relentless. Another last-ditch initiation. Can they get it?
Well, Mad Life's going in there. They're trying to get on towards Wicked. Wicked might be able to flash across here. I'm not too sure whether he's got it better. I think he just used it a second ago. They're going to try and capture on towards Wicked. They're doing everything they can. They do manage to get Wicked. Gunwung turning around. He's going to pop his ultimate. Oh, no, interrupted it straight away. Snoopy there straight away, twisted advance. And that's going to be Gunwung going down. Cloud Templar's trying to back away from this one. He's being silent. He gets twisted advance. He gets knocked up. Rapid start with the Yorick ultimate across him. That's going to be the ultimate coming out there. Is it enough? No, Sonya's hourglass from Froggen. Shy's going to get dropped. That's going to be Yellow Pete doing all the damage. Now he arcane shifts through. They're going to try and close on towards Mad Life. Mad Life is not being able to get it towards it. The turret here. Twisted advance, followed by Dark Bindings. He is dead. It's a 4-for-1, and they're going straight for the Nexus turrets.
That Karthus ult fizzled. He either died or that was a Yorick Ghost coming out. Either way, it would not have mattered in the grand scheme of the team fight. Brilliant execution by CLG EU, taking the first game, and this was commanding. A total victory by CLG EU.
14-5, 11-2 in turrets. It is very rare that you see such a massive, massive gap from a 35-minute game by CLG EU. Turning the tides. Tremendous performance there in game one. One more. They told us about this tactic 20 minutes ago, or well, 20 minutes before the game. While Taipei Assassins were beating Moscow 5, they said, we've got a brilliant tactic we are going to use.
And that was brilliantly executed on top of it. You could see Azubu Frost was not expecting that level of poke and coordination and almost aggression from CLG EU. Even though they weren't aggressively starting team fights, they were aggressively pushing towers and objectives. They can't let them get Jace. I think he's the linchpin of that strategy. It's the majority of their poke and the majority of their disengage. They have first pick in the next game. Expect CLG to either ban it or get it taken by Azubu Frost because they're not letting that happen to them again. Azubu Frost is too smart for that.
The question is, who do you leave available if you ban for Jace? I mean, Aurelia? I don't think so. So that's going to be an Aurelia and Jace straight away. Anivia? So what do they leave available now? Oriana's out there, but you know, with the first pick, I would expect probably CLG would be forced to use that as a ban. What else do they go for? They've let them have Alistair. Mad Life on Alistair, normally fantastic. Couldn't get involved because that poke strat, they just kept them at range.
And even with all that, the Black Shield was blocking a lot of his initiations. He didn't have enough damage to break through it. I think they let them get Aurelia or Anivia, in all honesty, because that was hopeless for Azubu Frost. They had no answer whatsoever. They've played against Anivia. They can maybe pick it away. Rapid Star knows how Anivia works. They know how to create. They know how to split push. They don't know how to defend against that. If they do, it could be something like Skarner Morgana to initiate hard, but really, I just don't think they're going to let that happen to him again.
So, Azubu Frost, they went 2-0 down in the OGN Champions, came back and won 3-2. They are now 1-0 down to CLG EU. They've not got the benefit of a best of 5. They are not in the finals just yet, where they will get a best of 5. No blind pick, though. How do you turn this around? Because we just panned across them there, and honestly, their faces look pretty down.
They were down, and it's a matter of their mental toughness. They have it, and playing against a poke comp like that is demoralizing. Mm-hmm. You don't feel like you have an answer. We have a replay of this last push to just see how difficult it was for them to engage on them right here. So you can see they're just getting down the inhibitor, and it's like always a last-ditch effort, but they only land the pulverize on Wicked. The wall is disengaged. They couldn't get there. They're trying to push down onto Wicked, but look at this. Everyone on CLG is fairly safe. Everything is diving onto Wicked, and from there, Woon had to expose himself because he's the one dealing damage. He has to chase after. Snoopy gets him there in the back. Froggen killed Karthus, and this is what happened. That is a Karthus Ghost. Rapid Star starts to channel his ultimate here, but the Karthus Ghost, the York Ghost actually times out before it's able to get. And that might have been a kill onto Snoopy, but after all of that, even if they'd killed Snoopy, everyone was dead on them. Yellow Pete, Froggen, and Krepa would have had enough to finish this game, and that was just the end of a flurry of just draining starvation of their turrets. And there wasn't much they could do against it. I know I said it many times, but that's just how it must have felt for them, and that's probably why they're demoralized.
So you can see behind us just about, it's still pretty dark down there. There's a lot of lights flashing around, but the stage is getting pretty close. It's pretty close. That is where these guys, they want to be fighting for. They want that $1 million match. The question is, how will they get there? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a commercial. It's going to be CLG versus Azubu Frost. Game 2 coming up soon.